yellow. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Flick Geeks. I'm your host, Johnny D. And of course, I'm here today on our podcast, Carlos Rojas.
Hi, everybody.
Alright, so the movie that we're going to be talking about today is a direct-to-DVD film, which, first off, you need to have lower expectations for any direct-to-DVD film, just to let you guys know. But the film we'll be talking about is 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment's Fright Night 2. Now, when I first saw this, like maybe the first 10 minutes, I tried to figure out, like, is this a reboot? Is this a remake of the 2011 version, or
is it a sequel? Is it?
I just kind of consider it like a retelling.
I said, I think we should take the cat out of the bag. It's oddly enough, it's a remake of a remake.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard they were going to do Fright Night Part 2, and I was originally hearing that it was going to be a sequel to the 2011 version with Colin Farrell, David Tennant, and Anton Yelchin. Chekhov.
You don't really
from
know
the
names.
Chekhov from the 2009, the new Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed that one. I actually really enjoyed that Fright Night version. You know, so I was like, okay, we're going to the sequel. So it's in theory, are we remaking Fright Night Part 2, the 88 version? You know,
I think it was 87.
Was it 87? Oh, okay. Well,
think we
that
should
shows
do
you
our
I don't properly get. I'm off by a day, by a year.
A day? Wow.
A day and a year, probably.
All right.
In my mind, but no, it's actually a remake of the original. Kind of doing what 2011's version did, so it's a remake of the original Fright Night, just labeled Part 2, and taking place in Romania.
Yes.
The only difference is we changed location, and we changed gender, because Professor Dandridge is now a woman.
But in a way, if you've seen the original Fright Night 2, I think the role was a woman also.
Yeah,
and her name was also Jerry Dandridge, I think?
No, it wasn't Jerry Dandridge. It was Dandridge. It was the sister of Jerry Dandridge.
Ah.
And that's why when I saw the first initial trailer, you know, they show female vampire, hence why I was thinking, oh, this is Fright Night Part 2,
yeah,
where the sister comes to get revenge. This is Colin Farrell's sister, right? Nope. Sadly, it isn't.
No.
And so I wasn't trying to, but you're gonna end up anyway comparing it to the 2011. You end up comparing it to both original and 2011.
Well, we just want to clarify, the actors in Fright Night 2, basically nobody came back.
Yeah.
Everybody's all new. Everybody is actually British with American accents. And yeah, so let's see. Let's go on with the actual movie. So what did you think of it?
Sadly, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it was that great.
Why is that? Were your expectations already low, or were they a little higher than?
Maybe it was a little bit higher because I did.
Why?
Maybe because I really enjoyed the 2011, and I felt on a way misdirected and cheated.
But this is a direct-to-DVD film from a different studio.
Yeah, but I don't always have low expectations for direct-to-DVD movies.
I mean, not all the time, but I mean, I knew what I was gonna expect because I mean, if you've seen any, you know, Fox Home Entertainment direct-to-DVD films, they're not. I mean, they're trying to think of a word. They're fun, but they're not going to be great.
Right.
You know. So that's all. That's all I'm saying.
I was expecting a little bit better. Honestly, it felt like generic horror movie. It plays itself a lot serious, a lot more straight than the original Fright Night, and I think in essence, there's where it fails. Because Fright Night itself, in all its incarnations prior to this, had never been truly serious film. Even the 2011, the original, they were always a level, kind of like Evil Dead. It has that level of kind of charm and whimsy and kind of campiness to it.
I mean, that's what definitely was a big disappointment for this remake of Evil Dead, that it just took it way too seriously. That's what I think at least.
Yeah, and I think this one suffers from that too. You know, and in fact, it's still technically labeled as a comedy as a comedy horror film.
Yep.
Yet I didn't find much comedy in this, so
Yeah.
that's why I was like, I was sadly a little bit bored. It felt like generic direct-to-DVD horror film.
I mean, let's talk about the comedy for a second. Yeah, I mean, the first, like, right when you see Evil Ed point, I think what I'm guessing what the actor's trying to do is trying to channel the original Evil Ed, not the McLovin Evil Ed, but the OG Evil Ed.
Right.
Because he was always very campy, very corny, and out there, but.
Well, he is trying.
But
like I said, these actors are trying.
They're trying to make a good film.
Right.
Really trying to make a good film. The director, Eduardo Rodriguez, who has done films like El Gringo.
El Gringo?
That's a film you can actually watch on Netflix.
Is that the one with Mel Gibson?
No, that's Get the Gringo.
Okay, Get the Gringo.
No, I'm talking about, and he also was the second unit director for the movie The Messenger with the motionless Kristen Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that film?
Sadly I do.
Okay, so basically, I mean, he's done a couple like smaller films here and there, but this is like his first kind of like big movie per se. But the person I actually had who had me sick to my stomach with the lines that he was spitting out was the guy who played Peter Vincent.
Ooh.
He is no fucking David Tennant, and he is no fucking Roddy McDowall, without a doubt.
Those are big shoes to fill.
I mean, the guy has to fill big shoes for the Doctor and just Cornelius.
And that's why
Caesar.
That's why I'm saying, like, you don't want to, but you're gonna end up comparing it to two previous installments, especially when you're essentially remaking the original story. You know, if you had done something differently, if you didn't at least did a remake to Fright Night Part 2, you would only have to compare it to Fright Night Part 2.
Yeah.
But you're remaking the original Fright Night story, so we're comparing it to David Tennant's performance. We're comparing it to Roddy McDowall's performance. So you're stacked against two heavies. You just won't return. Like, you won't make it.
I mean, the line that really made me cringe the most, I'm sure you remember, it's like the last part. I'm not doing any spoilers. But the line is basically, "Welcome to the real Fright Night, bitch." Like, really, if it wasn't for the director and the DP sitting back of me when I went to the screening, I'm pretty sure, hopefully you guys heard the Fright Night 2 Q&A on Geeks already. But I was sitting 2 rows behind him. And, two seats behind him. And I'm just like, I almost went, oh! But I couldn't because I have to respect and whatnot. So it's like, it was such a bad line. Like, they could have done so much better. They could have given so many better lines because he's fucking Peter Vincent. He is a badass. He's supposed to be a badass by the end of these movies.
Right.
You know, I mean, yeah, he's a coward and a lowlife at the beginning of these films, but he always redeems himself as a fucking badass. And having him do these really stupid, corny lines in this movie just really, like, he kind of rapes the character in the ass, basically. Is that? I mean, that's only one actor, one character that I'm talking about. I mean. But I actually do have a plus side for these some of the characters, like the actress who plays Jory Dandridge.
I've seen her in Spartacus.
Yeah, she's also on the Sci-Fi Channel show Defiance. But she's hot.
You want to see more of her? So you
yes.
Spartacus. You can see all of her.
Oh yeah, you can. Well, no, don't look at me. Look at them. They're the ones that are
all of her.
If I could recommend one thing about Fright Night 2, it's probably her, because I actually liked her in the film. I mean, she actually played the role really well. You know, she played the sexy, the sexy vampire. The vamp. And I thought she did a fantastic job. I think she's probably the best thing in that film, not counting how sexy she is, but just as a critic, I think she did a pretty good job.
In closing, what would you give it?
I would give this film a 2.5, and I would definitely say a Rent. I would say Rent.
I'll give it a 2. I won't give it that half point, but I'll give it a 2. Really? But you know what? I will. I mean, if you like vampire movies, and I mean serious vampire movies, not glaring vampires, and you want blood, you want
real
gore,
vampires.
You want just a vampire movie, a no bullshit, serious kind of vampire movie, and you enjoy those kind of things. Like, I want a serious, straight horror like vampire movie. Recommend this. We'll watch it. Maybe you'll enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it as much, but like I said, I was biased. I was comparing it to the other previous ones. Maybe if you've never seen any Fright Nights and you want a more, or maybe if you don't like the originals Fright Nights or the 2011 because they're not as serious as you wanted it and you felt that they're too campy, maybe you'll appreciate this one.
I mean, without a doubt, I mean, this does have the camp value at times, but there are cool things about the film. The gore is not too bad. There's a couple of like shots that kind of like, did they really need it? Like really quick, just really quick. The scene where the first sacrifice to the tub when they hang up the naked chick.
Oh yeah, so it's almost reminiscent of Hostel Part 2.
Yes, exactly. Well, no, that wasn't the thing. The thing was that there's one shot that was edited so stupidly, I think. After they hang her up, there's a quick shot of the tub, her, then there's literally a bunch of quick jab shots of her naked body, and then it kind of goes da 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 da. You know what I'm talking about?
Gratuitous.
There's like really this unnecessary part of gratuitous nudity, which I really thought was unnecessary, and that's coming from a guy, actually. But the point is that I think it was unnecessary for that specific shot at least. But I mean, but like I said, the creature effects were not too bad. There was a lot of dodgy CGI in this movie. But even the director actually said that even the CG was kind of like...
He wasn't happy with it.
Yeah, he wasn't really too happy about that. But all in all, the makeup effects were not too bad. The gore was okay for a direct-to-DVD film, for that specific direct-to-DVD film. I think what I saw was the R-rated cut. But it's going to be out in an unrated cut on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD. So who knows? There could be added scenes that I didn't see in my cut. Right. But yeah, all in all, it's a rental. So go check it out if you guys want. It's most likely going to be Netflix and Redbox and again and Blockbusters if there's any Blockbusters out there.
If you can locate them.
Yeah, but yeah, that's basically it. So 2 stars over here, 2.5 stars over here. So again, thank you so much, Foxhome Entertainment, for letting Flick Geeks go to the screening and post Q&A. And I think that might do it for this week's episode of the Flick Geeks Presents. I never really say Flick Geeks Presents. I just say Flick Geeks like it's a podcast, but I think it should be called Flick Geeks Presents. Because that's how I edit it when I finish editing these things. But until then, guys, Johnny D.
Carl Bro.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, @FlickGeeks, flickgeeks.tumblr.com, facebook.com/FlickGeeks. Sorry. Next week, hopefully, we are going to be finally reviewing Showgirls 2. And I know you're really excited about that.
Pennies from Heaven.
Pennies from Heaven. Yeah, gotta get going on that. And Suck Buddy. We just got in Suck Buddy, which is a documentary about people that actually believe they're vampires and they bring people blood. A little side note, I didn't know what I was getting into. I just saw the Suck Buddy and it said horror comedy, and I talked to them like, hey, let me get a copy of this. Saw the trailer after I got the copy. Boy was I stupid. Now I have to watch it. We have to watch it. So until then, look forward to Showgirls 2, Pennies from Heaven, and Suck Buddy, the documentary about people believing they're vampires. So until then, again, Johnny D, Carlos Barajas. See ya.